Dork Wars, live here at Galactic Hub for all things Star Wars and more. I'm your host, Blake, and I've got two incredibly awesome guest hosts with me tonight. People who have been on the show numerous times, probably the people who have been on the most. First, I would like to welcome DJ. What's going on, DJ?
How are you?
I'm doing great, man. So I had some internet troubles before this stream. Are we still having internet troubles? Can you hear me pretty good?
It's better. A little lagging just a little bit, but I think we should be able to make it through.
Oh, great. That means we will probably be able to get through this thing. I had to get my 5-year-old to stop streaming so I could do this. I'm going to turn my camera off for now. All right. Is that making things better?
We'll see. So far, but it's just because you're not wearing your lucky hat.
Cool. That's what it is. I'm not wearing that. Well, other than DJ, we also have the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend. His name lives in infamy, I believe. Joker Voice. What's going on, Joker Voice?
Acknowledge me! Hi.
Oh, good. Thank you guys so much for being on. I really appreciate it. Your guys' voices really do help me get my thoughts out there on these lives. I really do enjoy having both of you on.
Well, thank you. And cheers to me. Over 500 subs. I'm at 508 now. So yeah, cheers to me. Yeah.
Well, dang, I had a thing.
Oh well, do the thing.
All planned.
He's prepared. Man, look at that going across the screen there.
Congrats on 500 subscribers, JV. Look at there. That's fantastic, man. Well deserved. I really enjoy your content. If you haven't listened to Joker Voice on the tubes of views, I'm trying to. I hope this tag showing now.
Yeah, you got it.
Maybe. Okay, great.
There it is.
I'm glad. I'm glad it's halfway working.
The hamster's
if you
dying.
haven't subscribed to the hamster's dying on the wheel outside of my house right now. I'm gonna have to go to the pet store this week.
Or as DJ and I said, just get a hand crank and put those kids to work.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way to do it.
There you go. Cheap labor.
All right. Maybe this thing will stop. I tell you what, I'm hating this internet thing. Anyways, we'll try to press on anyway. So let's go on. Are my banners still just rolling, or is it just me?
Nope. Good now.
They're gone too. This is fantastic, guys. I'm really.
Oh. He went quiet.
Oh, so
we could just hijack the show,
Sure. Why not? All right. So influential films. I mean, that's a broad topic there. I mean, what do you? How would you define an influential film, sir?
Something that defines a genre that adds to, I guess, a subject that hasn't been done before, that sets trends. Okay. I think that, and there's lots of different ways to quantify that, but I think that's, in a nutshell, what would quantify a my thought just went after Blake just left. I was like, oh. So, but yeah. As for influential films, yeah, it's really broad. In our green room, I even brought up, hey man, how are we even going to tackle this?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's lots of ideas, lots of different films that appeal to people. But I think as long as they break the mold and add something new that we might not have seen before, then it's an influential film. What do you think?
I think if you've got hey, that's
He's
way
back.
better now. Better.
Yeah, I literally went to my hotspot on my phone.
There you go. There you go.
What
That
works?
Okay, so as far as me as a definition of an influential film, something that sticks with the cultural zeitgeist.
Wait, whoa, wait. We're already in the influential film?
No.
We were discussing filler while you fixed your internet.
Oh,
I got you. I was saying something that captures the cultural zeitgeist and is recognizable from generation to generation.
Okay.
And I would say just from what we have now, since I've been alive, probably the most influential time frame would be the 70s and the 80s. Probably the most influential period. I mean, definitely of my lifetime.
Yeah. Of our lifetime, yeah. The 20s and 30s had a lot as well. Definitely 70s and 80s for us during our time frame. Sure, absolutely.
Okay, Blake, the show is now yours again.
I guess I appreciate it. Well, I was going to talk about a little bit of news, so let's just get to it. Yeah. Now hear this.
Now hear this. Now hear this.
Now you hear this, whoever you are.
All right, so the writer's strike is still happening, and the actors' strike is still happening. We're not gonna get anything for a while. It seems. No.
Well, we're not gonna get. Okay, so that's kind of a misnomer. Anything that is in post production right now, which there is a lot still. There's a lot still in post. We're gonna get that. But as far as anything that has been in pre-production or currently in production, that is being halted.
Yeah. There's not much happening with anything going forward that hasn't already been shot and edited, or I guess the editors are still working, but
well, okay, so editors, VFX, and showrunners are still working.
Right.
So, personally, I think this is a double edge. This is a two sides of a good coin, because once this strike is over, studios are there's going to be such the backlog of stuff that hasn't been started yet, that maybe studios are like, maybe we shouldn't put this out, and a lot of the, how shall I say, controversial topics will get pushed to the side, and let's actually go for making the money. The double-edged side is the actors and writers are fighting a losing battle here, because the studios really have all the leverage. The studios have a catalog, that stuff that's already paid for. So pay some licensing rights, put it out on cable or a streaming service that is not theirs, or even on network or in theaters. And guess what you got rolling in? Free money.
That's right. Yeah. So what that has been announced is going to get pushed? Like, what do you guys think will get pushed? I know, obviously, like Blue Beetle is going to be coming out, and I don't know why that. I guess because I saw the trailer for it like yesterday.
That's a non-starter. the last two DC films are non starters because they are dead ends. They're
Yeah,
not
but it's coming out. I mean, it's still coming out. You know.
right. Well, and
Yeah,
the reason and the reason they are coming out, knowing that they're not knowing that they're gonna tank, is they had too many foreign market contractual obligations. So say
Right.
as opposed to the Batgirl film, which was supposed to go directly to streaming, that can get nixed and just shelved completely, where these other films have to be released.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree. I think that this is a good double-edged sword. I think that we're going to end up getting better quality things than what we had been getting. They're just not going to throw stuff at the meat grinder and whatever sticks at the wall. We're going to, oh, hey, we'll make a film of this. They're actually going to have to think about it, make sure it fits, and do some actual production work on it and flush it out rather than just the swell that we've been getting for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Are you listening, Marvel? Yeah. Stop pumping out crap.
Blake, you're muted.
Be like, Boomer.
Sorry. No, it's so it's telling me that my video is playing from earlier when I played it, even though I can hear you guys perfectly fine.
Oh.
It's just my video is all screwed up. I can't even see you guys, but it's okay. What I was saying though was I didn't know if I was actually muted or not. I guess I was. I'm just tired of the diarrhea of the studios just bringing out whatever. I mean, you're just pumping out material. There's no thought goes into it. There's definitely a quantity over quality. So I don't know.
True story.
Yeah, that's about all for that. In other news, though, and I want to keep it spoiler free, just because I don't know if everyone on here has seen. I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. I would like to see that this week, but I did see Barbie with my wife.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
And I know Shanti's on our she's on our chat, and I know how she feels about Barbie, and I know how Joker Voice feels about Barbie, and I know that those two opinions do not mix. So no spoiler review. DJ, have you been able to see either movie this week?
No, I have not. I don't make it to the movies that much, so I'm hoping. I'm hoping that I'll get some time here, but other pressing needs before I can get to the theater.
So are you gonna pull a Barbieheimer though? Barbenheimer if you're able.
I have no ambition to see Barbie whatsoever. I have not seen too many reviews on it. I know that it's a mixed bag. My kids kind of want to see it, but
don't do it.
I don't.
Do not do it.
So, JB, did you release your Barbie review yet?
That is coming out on Wednesday because
Wednesday.
I have my news video dropping tomorrow, but I can give non-spoiler if you want, Blake.
Yeah, if you want to give a quick non-spoiler review, quick now.
Okay, Oppenheimer. Is it a little too long? Yes. Is it pretentious? Yes. Is it extremely well produced? Yes. Is it well acted? Yes. Is it thought-provoking? Yes. Should you see it? Yes. Barbie. Evil, vile. There it is.
That was it. Dude, that is the nicest thing I've heard JV say about Barbie. I'll put this up. I just saw Shawnee put this up here. Don't tell someone to not watch a movie. People need to be influencing others in that way. Come to your own conclusion, DJ.
Okay, then in that case, you watch it first. and then decide.
And
I think that one I could probably wait. I know my kids want to see it, and because they've been watching the Barbie cartoons and stuff, but I'll probably catch it when it comes on whatever streaming service. But yeah,
I wouldn't say not to watch it. I wouldn't say not to watch it, but
I would.
This
is not for children.
Oh no,
no, it's not for children. I will say that. I don't think it's for children.
Oh, okay.
No.
How old are your kids?
I have a 10 and a 12 that are.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what it's rated, but
It's rated PG-13.
oh god. Okay, yeah, no.
Yeah, and new PG-13 is way worse than old PG-13.
Yeah.
So, I will say though, there's really not a lot of language in the movie, which
it doesn't need to because it's.
No, I agree.
It is because
I agree.
It is innuendo upon innuendo.
Yeah, it's a lot of innuendo.
Oh,
it isn't a lot of innuendo, but it's not even like it's not beating around the bush innuendo. It's like in your face.
Blatant.
Yeah,
right.
It could lead to some conversation you don't want to have with children of that age.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll skip that one then. But yeah, for me, I'll definitely watch Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
the thing was detonated 160 miles from here. So
yeah,
I want to check that out.
Awesome stuff. Well, in that case, Dork Wars the podcast has a merchandise store.
Merchandising. What's that? Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Open up the store.
So we have Dork Wars the hoodie, Dork Wars the t-shirt. I'm actually wearing a classic style of the Dork Wars logo from way back when. Yeah, those are available on the Dork Wars store. You can check us out at dorkwarspodcast.com. We got everything you want there. You can find where we stream our shows. You can find the merchandise. I'm trying to find the banner. There it is. But yeah, you can find everything that Dork Wars does. We are getting our audio podcast, which is our main thing, back running. We're slowly getting that back to where it should be. So if you are a fan of that, if you are a fan of listening to all the dorks, all five of us, that would be myself, Blake, Grant, Wesley, Diedrich, and Andrew, just talking about all nerdy stuff, laughing a lot, having a good time. If you like Master Yoda's Word of the Week, we will be back soon. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks. That is my goal. We will see. So
you can do it.
Yeah, I believe it. But I do want to talk about my guest host for a moment. First off, we do have Joker voice. Like I said, we got to put the banners back up now. I work so hard on typing that stuff. So 500 subscribers on YouTube. JV, what do you got coming up, man? Tell us a little bit about what you do and what you got coming up.
Well, as on my channel says, welcome to my little world. Funny voices and talking about the insanity that is Hollywood. And because Hollywood is insane, we are in clown world right now, which I would know something about, being a clown. But yeah, I do pop culture commentary, movie reviews, TV reviews. I talk about what's going on in the world of entertainment, in the world of entertainment, and then I just kind of somewhat. I totally rule. Stop it. So anyway, but yeah, so I look at films. I tend to look at films from more of a not necessarily a enjoyment factor, but a success and failure factor? Is a film going to be profitable? Is a film going to what type of impact going to have on, say, merchandise sales? And if it if the studio is heavily into the heavily into retail or not. And as you can tell, I do have a speech impediment. Kind of, I mean, it's barely noticeable, but I also do. I raise funds for the Stuttering Foundation of America, and yeah, we just wrapped up one not too long ago. I should be getting numbers very soon, and yeah, that's kind. I know what I do. Have fun, and okay, occasionally say some things that people don't like, and that's fine with me.
No, not you, JV. No,
it makes for quality entertainment.
It really does. If nothing else, it is fun to bicker back and forth with you. Even though that I feel like me and you do line up on a lot of things. So,
and most of the time you are still wrong, but that's fine.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. I've had people be wrong about me being wrong before. All right, so we also have Mr. DJ. What's going on? And where can we find you? And what's up with you?
So yep, there's my Twitter at Red4Charlie. I am the co-host of Rebel Rock Radio, which we have live on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central. Right now, my other co-host Steve is taking a break, so I'm going solo on there. But we play
Keys to the Kingdom.
Yeah. Don't know what to do with them. Like, I have no idea where the banners are or where anything is. I'm just kind of, trying to minimize the downtime. But yeah, we play some punk rock music and talk about pop culture. Yeah.
I do really enjoy the music thing. That is something that you don't get on a lot of podcasts. You guys like literally just talk nerdy stuff and then have totally awesome music. It's cool. It's a neat concept. I think you guys hit it out of the park with that. So for Joker Voice, for DJ and Rebel Rock Radio, for Dork Wars, a podcast, just like and subscribe. Like it's coming. It's like and subscribe. Yes. More likes, more subscribes. Get Joker Voice. If that could get you to 600, JV. That right there.
Whacking a Joker with a cane. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could.
Jason Todd got off easy.
Oh, it's a crowbar. Oh, I thought it was a cane.
Crowbar. It's crowbar.
Oh, all right.
Crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is JV's most influential movie he's going to be talking about tonight. It's going to be his favorite one.
It's a good one. Man. I won't go that far, though.
The Last Jedi?
Oh.
That's what I thought we were talking about.
Joker.
Oh yeah. The Joker movie was good. But without further ado, let's get into our main topic for tonight. We are talking about the most influential movies of all time.
Light speed.
Yes, and I had a couple of the movies that I want to talk about on there.
Those were some excellent picks. DJ, I have to ask. You're in New Mexico, right?
Yes.
What temperature is it there?
Currently, I believe 101.
And you have a hoodie on?
So you might not know. So I have been diagnosed with cancer.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I did.
it's cool.
I did not
But
know.
my body goes through lots of different swings. I'll take this
The
thing on and
menopause.
off. Yep.
The menopause.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like it.
so yeah.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I go. I'll take it off and on as the night progresses. But yeah. Right now I'm cold.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, because it's a brisk 109 here in Las Vegas.
Right.
Yeah, we got a break today.
Oh.
I think it was in the high 80s in North Carolina.
Oh, shut up.
But it's humid.
Yeah. But it's humid. Yeah, you got that humidity.
Whatever, Outer Banks. Whatever.
Hey, now look, that show was horrible. Okay, that was not influential.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Anyways, influential
films.
movies.
Yeah.
So I want to bring it up, DJ. I don't think we're going to go in any kind of order. Just talking about what you think are some of the most influential films. DJ, what's one that kind of comes to your brain right off the bat?
Metropolis.
Ooh, good one.
1927.
Good one.
Would you care to tell us why?
Yeah, sure. So it is. Man, first sci-fi, possibly.
Kind of.
Yeah,
One of
it's
the
just
first.
it's futuristic city, and it's kind of like Star Wars meets Blade Runner meets. It was just. I mean, visually was amazing movie to see. I really loved the way that it was shot, especially for that time frame. The special effects in it were amazing. So yeah. I don't know how much else to say. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. It's an older movie, but it's definitely worth the watch.
No, and that was 1929. You said
27.
27. Okay, because I would go two years after that. Nosferatu.
I have that on my list as well. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Our first look at Count Orlok, not Count Dracula.
Right.
And you get the classic Nosferatu look, which has recently come out and been more of a classic vampire. Hey, DB, what's up? And we're getting a film next month, The Voyage of the Demeter, which you're going to see more of that bat in more of that bat influence look.
Nice. Blake, you muted.
Mute.
I'm telling you, man. So yeah, my stuff is still wacky. Like I can hear everything real well, and I think you guys can see me. And I think you guys can see me.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. That's awesome. I can't see you. And that's okay. It's telling me that a video is playing right now. It's been telling me that since I got back. Yeah. So it keeps randomly muting me.
So
But anyway, one of my influential films, and I stuck really, I didn't get too much into the deep cuts. I didn't. But one of my first ones is, of course, The Wizard of Oz. Oh my gosh. One of my favorite films, period. I love The Wizard of Oz. You know, you have a classic, you have the classic trilogy, you have the adaptation from Frank L. Baum's books, Technicolor, which is fantastic. The sepia beginning and then that transition to Technicolor, it's in that realm of modern. Well, I say modern film, of course, it's like the beginning of a lot of film. But we're starting to get color in our film now in the late 20s. and they just knocked it out of the park. That transition, even when I was a kid, the first time I saw Wizard of Oz, it blew me away. And
it was one of the first movies that I actually felt transported into a different realm.
Immersive.
Yeah, just because in that transition where, all right, Kansas, it's dry, it's dusty, I could picture that being black and white up to the Technicolor, Oz. And it's like, wow, so much color was put into that. It was absolutely incredible. And I felt transported into that world. It wasn't like, I'm just watching this on the TV. It's, it's actually, I'm in there. So,
and any male who saw the Wizard of Oz as a young boy, if any male says that Judy Garland was not one of their first crushes, is lying.
She's a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
And was a beautiful woman. Was a beautiful woman at that.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it's one of those films. I think it's one of the first films that really spawned like a world of lore. I mean, just all the Wizard of Oz stuff that's out there. Like you have, one of my favorites is Tin Man. So I got to get my phone cord for my dying hotspot. One of my favorites is Tin Man. That came out in the 2007 or 8, I believe, miniseries. That was awesome. You have numerous movies. This is one of the first movies, and I guess it started, of course, with Frank L. Baum's books, that really spawned like a whole world, like lore that kind of went throughout all these different medias and properties.
Sure.
So that's why I think it's so influential.
Yeah.
It's got that element of immersiveness like DJ was talking about, and it spawned so much media even since 1929.
Correct.
Yeah.
So anyone else got another good one?
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937.
I got that one as well.
How it ushered in or showed that animated movies, cartoons, whatever you want to call them, could actually take center stage and be a feature-length quality film. And yeah, to me, that was extremely influential. Because if that didn't succeed, we wouldn't have Pixar or any of the other, the golden years now, say the 90s, 89 and 90s, from like Little Mermaid to now, I guess, or right before they started doing the live action remakes. But yeah. So that's another influential one for me.
I guess I didn't say it was released in 39. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. It was released in 39.
Okay, so
I want to ping off that real quick before we move on. I do want to ping off that. Snow White is a turning point in animated media, just animated movies, what have you. Before that, you had Mickey Mouse cartoons and things like that. I mean, they were 8-9 minutes long, and that was it. You had Steamboat Willie, which was another one that was, that's technically, I guess they call it a movie. It's not. It's like 8 minutes long. But Snow White was where the animated studios of Disney really took off and started making bukus of money. I mean, they were the first to do it, and it's been rolling ever since.
Oh, okay. I'll go next, and I'm going to jump all the way to 1975.
There you go.
With the first, I guess, which is considered the first official summer blockbuster film, Jaws.
That's on my list. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, as I said, an influential film is when it impacts the culture. Yeah. All you have to do is go into a swimming pool. You could have never seen them film Jaws, but someone will just put their hand up and go da 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 da. and everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
So moving on from that one, I'm going back to 1940. Fantasia. Fantasia was
Ooh.
yeah,
First music video, really.
Yeah.
really. I mean, yeah. It was the precursor to like the Wall and stuff like that. I mean, really, if you think of it, as twisted as that kind of sounds, but you have that's the first commercial film, I believe, that was in stereo sound. RCA and Disney collaborated, so it was the precursor to like surround sound. You have the musical aspect. It was kind of the resurgence of Mickey Mouse. He had kind of declined in popularity. They had made The Sorcerer's Apprentice as a standalone, and as much money as they put into it, they were not going to get that much out of it. So they decided to tag it on to Fantasia, and fantastic movie. I think it was a turning point for animation and film in general, just with the sound aspect.
Yeah.
So DJ,
Yes.
back to you.
All right. So this one, I was having a hard time picking which one of his films that I wanted to include in here, but I'm just so I'm gonna, instead of film, Akira Kurosawa. I'm gonna say because
a great mind.
two huge. The Hidden Fortress and Seven Samurai are, and I was going back between the two of those. 1954 for Seven Samurai and 1958 for Hidden Fortress. Amazing films, shot incredibly. Not only were they shot, they were also pilfered for other movies in the 70s for action sequences because they were shot so well. So absolutely amazing director. Really can't go wrong with his movies. So yeah, Seven Samurai is probably the one I would say over Hidden Fortress. But Hidden Fortress was also a quality film.
It's funny you mention Hidden Fortress, because I'm going to jump to 1977 when we got the live action adaptation, which I consider the greatest American film ever made, and that would be Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all knew something was coming, especially like, when I think influential film. Everyone says Empire is their favorite. Return of the Jedi is amazing. A New Hope is the most influential film of the series. I mean, obviously, it started it all. That was a turning point in film. I mean, just how things were shot. I mean, the way things were shot, the way that George Lucas and his team were able to shoot Star Wars and their little models and everything looks so fantastic for the time, and still it holds up today. I can't talk about Star Wars enough.
True.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, it really pushed what you can do with technology. Now, did it push the boundaries of writing? No. Because let's be honest, as much as we love George, it's Marcia, the editors, and a lot of the other writers that really made that film.
Yeah.
Because George is a
creator,
creative, but the technical aspects are not his strength.
Yeah. And just it's the basic adventure story,
It's the classic hero's
journey.
Journey.
But it was, it's in a new setting, a setting we'd never seen before. It was done in a way that you have other characters that matter and you're invested in, and there's a lot going on in those films. I mean, you have Han and especially after A New Hope. A New Hope's kind of singular with the plot, but after A New Hope, I mean, you have Han and Leia doing their thing, and then Luke doing his thing. They all come back together, and then I think that movies were not like that previously. The storytelling and what you did with technology, it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I want to jump to 1982, Tron.
Ooh, okay.
Love Tron.
All right.
Oh, shut up, Joker voice. Tron's amazing.
I didn't say it wasn't, but influential.
I think it's influential. But for the time, I think that the special effects they used were out of this world. I mean, for the time.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
love Tron.
Yeah.
Shanti, I love you, but you bore me. Boo. Oh, Shanti's got a good one. I want to talk about that one in a second. Mary Poppins.
Do we
When
have
Mary
to?
Poppins come out? Oh, come on. Come on. Isn't that that's the first film where they mix cartoon and
Live action?
real in live action? Is that correct? Am I correct on that?
I believe it's
On screen, yes.
I believe
know
you're around
that,
there. Wait. There was a Gene Kelly with Gene Kelly. It was either it was Fred Astaire with Jerry Mouse was on something.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was actually a movie. I think that was just a little short.
Right.
For a movie, I think Mary Poppins was first. Although Walt Disney did show the capabilities of that in a lot of the previous stuff that they would do and release on like live TV.
That's correct.
Which I think was before before that movie came out.
Now, what about song? I know this is a taboo movie. Don't cancel me for talking about this.
It's
Song
not
in
taboo.
Itself. Song in
Is it?
Itself.
It's a fine film. It's a fine
It
film.
is. I think it is as well. Did it come out? Did that come out before or after Mary Poppins? I don't.
After.
It is?
After.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure. And it does lead the way to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that's one of my favorite films. I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Oh gosh. Oh.
It's
I don't
just
know if I can call
a crush on Jessica.
Yeah, it might be, but I mean, I love Christopher Lloyd too. But I lost track. I don't think that I guess it could be Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I don't know if it's influential.
No,
It is a culmination. It's a fantastic movie.
It is a derivative film, meaning it's just playing off of what has already been done.
I can agree.
It was very entertaining. So did it push the boundaries? No. So it really did nothing that was revolutionary.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I do think
because it was also done previously in a film called Cool the World. So
Cool World, yeah.
I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah.
Oh no. I have to go look that up.
So I have two movies that to me set the stage for Star Wars. And they were both released in '68. First being 2001: A Space Odyssey. I think that if that movie hadn't succeeded, we wouldn't have gotten Star Wars. It showed that people were ready for and to go see a space movie.
Okay.
Up until that point, it was always serials that were on
Saturday mornings.
On Saturday mornings, they weren't just believable; they were just kind of go have fun, let the kids watch them. But 2001 was actually taken seriously as a film, so I think that was the most influential of the two.
It's Kubrick.
Yeah, and the second of those is Planet of the Apes.
Oh, good.
Love Planet of the Apes. That was on my list too.
I think if it wasn't for Planet of the Apes and the realistic conversion of makeup artists and VFX for to allow the cast to be transformed into apes and to be believable. I think that was our first.
Makeup, so for like makeup stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and for it to be believable and not just hokey like we had seen before, and not like monstrous like horror that
Yeah.
we've seen. It was something that was believable and kind of paved the way of, all right, now we can show realistic type aliens, and it will be acceptable. So I think those two
Yeah.
have to be kind of lumped together.
I agree.
So,
Now, as far
Yeah.
as makeup goes, I'm going to go. I'm going to jump back to 1931, Frankenstein.
yeah, another good
I got to
one.
unmute myself. I'm sorry. Before we hit Frankenstein, I wanted to talk about Planet of the Apes for another second
Okay.
because of how much I love it. That's one of my favorite films of all time, and I think it's kind of a horror film too. Like it's not just sci-fi; it's a horror, especially the second one.
It's
Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Oh my gosh! It's a commentary.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's a commentary. It's kind of got that horror, kind of horror aspect. You don't know what's going to happen to the characters. It's got that kind of thriller, and of course, yeah, like you said, the makeup that holds up today. I mean, they look like ape people. If I saw an ape person in real life, I think they look just like that. I mean, 100%. So I just kind of wanted to dovetail off that because of how much I love that movie.
Okay, so
Sorry, Joker. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. So you got 1931 Frankenstein, Boris Karloff, and this is when Universal really found a niche audience, and were known for their monster films. So you had Ella Lugosi, Lon Chaney, and just this spawning of movies that are still enjoyable to this day because they are kind of understated, and you don't see the monster as much, kind of like Jaws. You don't really see the monster until the end. So you get this build and a build and a build and a build.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. Luna Girl put this up. We can't leave out comedy. 1974, Young Frankenstein, comedic satire. Since you were talking about Frankenstein,
if we're gonna go comedy, the first comedy to, I believe, gross because of ticket prices and films were not as international as they are now. One of the first comedies to reach $100 million, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
1984 Ghostbusters. Yeah.
I didn't even have Ghostbusters on mine, but yeah, love Ghostbusters. It really. I think now that I think about it, without Ghostbusters, do you really get those kind of hokey, not hokey, but like just dopey comedies?
I don't.
And I say dopey in a loving way, not saying that it's dopey. It's a good movie, but
I don't think you get. I mean, it's a sci-fi film. It's a comedy film.
Yeah,
it's kind of
dirty, man.
It's kind of a brand unto itself. I mean,
yeah, and I mean it's got ghosts, but it's not really horror.
No,
I guess it's not at all. I mean, it's not. They're not scary. Not really scary. Maybe the kids. That's about it. No, that's awesome. Toy Story. I think Toy Story. That's one I have. That was 94.
I believe so. I mean, Toy Story. That was the first Pixar film, and it's the first. It's the first completely 3D animated film.
Yeah. And
Or I'm sorry, first full length 3D animated film.
yeah, I agree. I do
95 for Toy Story.
95. Yeah, I knew it was.
Luna
I
Girl.
knew it was somewhere in there.
Luna Girl. That film is absolute trash. Throw it away.
What? The Princess Bride?
May it burn in the seventh circle of hell.
Joker voice throwing punches now.
All right, so let's
This
see.
guy
I
didn't
guess for my next one, man, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because to me, just personally, I think that this film is one of the most influential, and that was 1993's Schindler's List.
Oh, yes. That's very good. Very good film.
Our school went to go see that. They rented out the theater for us to go see it. And I had guys that were in my school that were just, making fun of it to begin with. I don't know why we're going to go see this film. It's no one really cares. Yeah, it's not going to be any good. And at the end of the movie, as we were walking out, most of everybody was crying at the end. It was so impactful, and it changed a couple of lives in my school, which was a small school. But the way that they were acted after they had seen that film, it was complete difference for what they were beforehand. So I had to include that in this list.
No, I totally agree.
The use of color was phenomenal because it was mainly black and white up until the girl in the red dress or the red jacket. And that pivotal moment was just, heartbreaking. But yeah, amazing movie.
I'm going to go and I'm going to stay in the same year. Philadelphia.
On my list, yes, sir.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that this film prompted probably more money and funds being dumped into being not dumped, but being flooded into AIDS research, and it hit a chord with the culture. This is real and people are dying, and this is something that just film while being escapism for the most part should also make you think.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and to ping off of that, I think that some movies are pure escapism. I think some movies are pure to make you think, and I think the greatest of these do both.
Yeah,
just me. My next one, it's more. This is tough because it's more of a series. Because I think the whole series, there are things in this series that I think mainly 2 points in this series. You guys will definitely appreciate it because I know you were both Potterheads. 2001 to 2000, whenever the heck it ended. I think it was 2011, 10. It might have been longer than that. It was Harry Potter series. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Well, I think.
Good. Okay, I'll let you say it.
So my take on this, at least, I think it is the first adaptation of a book that did so well in the theaters. Now, that had to do with the book being so fantastic. I don't know that a book has ever been written. Well, that's not true. Jurassic Park was kind of that way. I guess before. Yeah, I guess Jurassic Park's that way. But I think as a series, for it to be the book first, it was wildly popular. Then they almost immediately bring that to the screen, almost immediately, and it did so well. And then with the last book, they split it into 2 movies. I think that is the first. I know it's the first series that ever did like books that took the time to split the last one into 2, or to make a distinction.
I think I think it's either that or Twilight series, because they did that, because they did the same thing to the last book. I only know this because
Potter did it first.
Okay.
I was in high school when Twilight came out and all that stuff. Oh yeah, I read Twilight to get with the ladies.
I went and saw the films to get with the ladies, so
it worked. It worked, and then I played guitar too, so that just
So
and I was a lot smaller back then. Anyways,
so to go off of that, I have 2 here, but I think I'm going to have to go with. I think it was 72. I have to give me 1 second. Let me look this up here. Was also
Twilight, and I was going to be like, no,
yeah, 1972. It was also based off of a book first.
Yes.
And that would be The Godfather. I thought it was extremely well written. It was believable, especially living up in the Northeast where I'm from. It was an amazing movie. It was shot very well. I liked it. This isn't including any of the sequels. Just The Godfather itself. I think that this was an influential movie. It spawned 2 sequels plus a plethora of other mob style movies that came out after it. So
Scorsese, right? That was Brian
Coppola.
Coppola, that's right. Yeah, Coppola, Scorsese, De Palma, all in that vein.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to, and now instead of just a film, a decade of films that fall under one name. And if you know anything about the 80s, you cannot say 80s films without saying John Hughes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of sparked what we now know as the rom-coms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Agreed.
Rom-coms, teen movies. I mean, yeah.
And there's no shortage. I mean, going into the 90s, I mean, you have American Pie and Van Wilder, all that stuff.
Okay, well, those go a little more raunch.
But they get their beginnings, though.
Right. That's right. Without John Hughes, right. Without the John Hughes films, you do not get the teen sex comedy films.
Yeah,
no, you don't. No, you don't. Not at all. All right, I'm wearing down on mine, but
I can still go.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I could go. I could go. I can go.
I can give you. I'll give one more though. I'll give one more because I know.
I don't care how many you do. We're only in an hour, guys. This is
right.
This
it all depends on how long you want to go. But
I don't. I mean, I'm sure I could come up with more off the cuff as I think about it. But I want to talk about
all of this is off the top of my head.
Oh yeah. Well, I've got more that keep coming to me, but one for sure, 1978 Superman.
And that goes. Oh, okay. So hang on to that one because that is a great film. I just watched that again at work the other night, and I'm gonna hold on to this. So, DJ, I hope you don't hope you don't steal this from me because I got go on.
Well, Superman. I mean, this is the first big foray into cinema for superheroes.
Correct.
I mean, the first.
And the tagline, you will believe a man can fly.
Yeah. And of course, you're going to start with Superman. He was the most recognizable superhero of the time. He is, an icon. So you start with Superman, and the film was fantastic, greatly adapted. Christopher Reeves, film you don't have
Okay. Blake,
Batman in the 90s,
Blake,
Marvel, and all that.
Blake, it's Christopher Reeve. It was
George
Reeves.
I added an S, didn't I?
Yeah, it's George Reeves.
I'm sorry.
Christopher Reeve.
Sorry. Don't execute
no
me.
worries.
Don't beat me with your crowbar, man. Don't beat me with your crowbar. But yes, I mean, without that film, you don't have the Marvels movies, the 10-year span of Marvel movies. You don't have the 90s Batman. You don't have Christopher Bale as Batman, the Christopher Nolan trilogy. You don't have that stuff. So that film really, I mean, that's a lot of what I talk about on my show are films and media that were made possible by that movie. So that is why that movie is so influential.
All right.
Yeah.
DJ, you're up.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
DJ, so we're in a round robin now,
All right. So this one is also a comic book movie. It's just a little bit later. And I think it was Lunar Girl that had said something about a movie that had everything. To me, this movie had absolutely everything. It had comedy, it had drama, it had special effects, fight scenes, and also
you're talking about Batman and Robin. Please tell me you're talking about Batman and Robin. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
No. And also talked about a political landscape that you could really imagine happening today. And that was 2005's V for Vendetta.
Great film. Film.
Very good movie.
What was it? Alan Moore was based off of his comic.
Yeah, he's odd though.
Yes.
Moore's odd. Yes.
But the film version was absolutely amazing.
Weaving.
Yes. Yeah, Hugo Weaving, Natalie Portman, Stephen Fry,
John Hurt.
Yeah, John Hurt. Yeah.
It's just it was so influential, and I can just watch it and listen to it, and the way in the dialogue that is presented in there, and the ideology that is there I could easily see that today.
And how many of us, and this is again something that hits a cultural zeitgeist. Remember.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say. Now, I'm going to go with another person who was probably the most influential person in movie history during all our times. He has crafted some of the greatest moments and filled our hearts, and that will be Sir John Williams.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
it's not a movie, but it's okay.
Right. Well, influence. I mean, think about it. There's every great moment in cinema has a score to it, and who has, right. And so you've got Close Encounters, Jaws, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter. I mean, the list goes on. E.T. Right.
Superman.
The list goes on and on and on and on. So I don't think you have the films and the movie moments that we have without him.
Yeah.
I really like that idea, JV. I really do, because you are absolutely correct. 100% correct. Like the end of Casablanca, there's the music there. You remember that at the end of Gone with the Wind, you have that music. That's another one I hadn't talked about, but it's influential. But you have the music that's attached to that. But all in like you said, in all of our times, all in recent memory, John Williams is the best of the best at crafting those moments. to I mean, especially like Star Wars, because every scene has its own music. Every beat has its own music. Every idea has its own music. It's insane.
Mhm.
And the way he captures the feelings and the thoughts that George Lucas sometimes cannot put on paper is
Right.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, even can't
Yeah.
explain it.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'm up. And this one might not, because my first thought on this was one movie, and I did a little more research on it and realized that another movie had come first, and that is camera angles and the way that things were shot. And that would be 1999, The Matrix.
Yeah.
And the story is not great.
Basic
But
story.
the visual effects and what they called the bullet time
Mhm.
Yeah.
was revolutionary. It took what they were using in like China with the wire effects and digitized it and made it where you didn't have to do all of the wires and everything. And my first thought was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
Great
which,
film.
which was
Great
absolutely amazing, but Matrix came out first. So, but just for the camera effects and the way that when you see even that opening scene when Trinity jumps through the windows and the way that the camera follows,
Yeah.
revolutionary. I mean, story
Yeah.
is not
It's
that
almost
great.
I believe the way they described it, and it really kind of the stunning part of it was when right in the opening scene when she does that jump and she does this little thing and it kind of pauses and it does a turnaround.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
believe the term they used was the camera was holding its breath. That's how they describe it, and that's the
Wow.
first time you. That's probably the first time you saw something like that, and then people like Zack Snyder overuse it.
yeah.
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 I
So
agree.
I just for camera effects alone and being influential for other movies, because I mean, then you get like the amazing film that it is, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that
Amazing
employed
film.
a very similar effect and but had that dynamic story with it.
Right.
Well, but yeah, I had to give credit to the Matrix just for the camera effects. So
Now, I do think the first Matrix does at least it has a good story. I think the story's good.
Mhm.
Now after that, it gets bad.
So I want to go with two films. Now, influential maybe, um, but these are two films where the antagonist wins, and this is something that we normally don't see a lot of.
yeah,
Definitely a JV thing. That's for sure.
I'm going to go with Seven.
on my list.
I mean, oof. That movie is great. That movie is well acted. It is not entertaining. That movie leaves you creeped the fuck out. Pardon my French, but I mean,
you get one. Would you get one?
well, yeah, but I mean, seriously, you leave that film like, oh wow,
Yeah.
whoa, I don't feel good about watching that film.
Yeah.
But it was amazingly done, extremely well acted, extremely well shot, and then to kind of do the same thing but on a lighter side, Infinity War, the bad guy wins,
Yeah.
and just the scene, the very last image is Thanos just sitting down on his porch, watching a sunrise, and smiling.
Yeah.
That's dark, dude.
Yeah.
That's dark.
But
Yeah.
again, it had But again, that's all you needed, because for the next year, everyone was waiting for the next film to come out. Everyone
we were holding our breaths. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So JV had mentioned earlier some of those things that just stick with you. Whenever somebody says, what's in the box? I mean, that's just. And Kevin Spacey,
Detective.
Yeah,
Detective.
I believe you're looking for me. And he's got his hands up and his fingers are all bandaged where he cut off his fingerprints. It was just like, what in the world is this? And okay, what's going on? And yeah, it was absolutely mind blowing, and such a. In fact, I even watched. I watched The Batman today. Not Batman, but The Batman. And there was so much callback.
Oh yeah, very much so.
7
huge
that
influence.
I was like, wow, all right, well, gee, I've already seen this movie a bunch of times, and this was only the second time I watched The Batman. I went and saw it in the theaters. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me see how it holds up. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is just like 7. All right.
Yeah.
And did it at least hold up? Did it at least hold up, DJ?
Parts of it did. I loved Andy Serkis. I didn't mind Robert Pattinson. I thought that the score was really well done.
I do too.
But there were some issues.
I know this is off topic, but yeah, I want to hear yours, JV. I know you didn't like it.
I thought the ending could have really been tightened up, but then again, that's the problem you run into with anyone who is a student or has worked with J.J. Abrams. They don't know how to end things.
I love the movie. I think it's a great movie up until like the 2-hour mark, and then I'm just like, come on, let's get it over with.
Wrap it up.
I think it was really well done. It was just too long, just too freaking long. But anyways, sorry, I was just yearning to know that. I'm sorry. Anyways, as you were.
No, let go. I mean, I haven't heard.
Oh, it's my turn. Oh God, it's my turn. Yeah, it's my turn. I will say, 2012, The Avengers. This is just kind of pinging off of Endgame. Avengers is really where the superhero team up thing. It really started. I mean, it started with Iron Man. Technically, it actually started with. I have this whole theory about how 2003 Hulk is technically the next Hulk, which kind of introduces Nick Fury, is a sequel to that Hulk. So, anyways, Iron Man's really, really kind of where it started. But the Avengers is where we get the crossovers. The first time you have these superheroes coming together out of their own films into a major blockbuster film together, and it set the tone for the next now till now.
Years.
I mean,
11 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's still decline. It's kind of declining now, I believe.
Kind of. No, it is declining.
It's declining. It's declining. It has declined. It is.
This is something that this was the great experiment. This was episodic film.
Yeah.
Instead of standalone films where you may get a crossover here and there somewhere, this was truly a integrated universe, and they would drop just enough to say, because each film was an event, and they left enough to keep you wanting something more. Then they did the oversaturation model and killed it.
Right. Yeah, I felt like it was that thing when I was a kid. I don't know if you this, I'm guys. But when I was a kid, right, this on the precipice of the internet and the early internet, and we would just, kids would just make crap up at school and be like, oh yeah, so and so is going to be moving so and so, or so and so is going to do, you're going to have like, my big thing was Dragon Ball Z back in the day. It was like, oh man, there's like a Super Saiyan 16 out there, but just make stuff up. But I felt like that the Avengers was the first time like those kind of wild theories were like put on the screen. I mean, no one had, of course you had it. It was building up to that,
right?
But it was the first time that just something like mind blowing with crossovers happened on screen. So nerd wise, that is a huge movie.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go with another film. I'm going to go 1982, which kind of redefined the male action lead, Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Because before you had like Charlie Bronson, Clint Eastwood, the road cop in a suit, whatever. This was a big. This brought out men.
Yeah.
Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold. This made Arnold into a mainstream,
Yeah.
which then just paved the way for a lot of these other action heroes that we all see in the Expendables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So my next pick.
I will say, let's one moment. Let's do one last round. Let's do one last round of what you think, if you hadn't said it yet. Your most influential film. If you hadn't said it yet.
Well, yeah, I've already said it, so I'll go with another one. So I'll give you one more. 1994. Kind of an interesting story. The way that the director weaves it in and around the different tales inside the movie. Be Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Not only did it have a resurgence for Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta, but the story was something that was captivating, and you were trying to figure out what in the world is going on.
Yeah, what's going on?
How does this fit together in the undertones? And again, as Joker Voice said, does it have something in it that is like iconic, and whether it's and I can't remember Ezekiel, whatever that Samuel L. Jackson says, the biblical quote. Whether it's the dancing scene where Travolta does what's her name does the thing across the eyes. There's just so much that was in that film that a lot of people would recognize, and it really set forth the Tarantino universe because a lot of his films are interrelated. So I would say that's a good place for me to end. Be Pulp Fiction, 1994.
All right, I'll go on and do mine. I'll let JV have the honor of being last because I know he likes being dramatic, so that's kind of his thing. Let's see. There's so many movies out there. Oh man,
how do you pick? And I have a ton more, but
yeah, right. Well, Gone with the Wind is, of course, a timeless classic. I believe it was the first movie in color, first feature-length film in color. I might be wrong on that. So. I think it was. So to have the first film in color, for one, is monumental. The story, man, I love Gone with the Wind. I'll still go back and watch it now. The first movie I ever saw as a kid where it had an intermission. Sucker had an intermission in it. Get up, get your drinks, and
right
nowadays I'm running to the bathroom hoping I don't miss something and get back as fast as I can. They're just like, nah, bro, take 20. We got another 2 hours.
Yes.
There's cursing in this movie.
It's
not the first time.
It was the first time.
First audible cursing.
Oh yeah.
And wasn't it also the first black actress to win an Oscar?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
So
she wasn't even allowed. She wasn't even allowed to be there. It was horrible.
In the room, right?
Or she was. No. Yeah.
She was in an adjacent room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She was there. Yeah. She just couldn't be with everybody.
Yeah.
And it's a commentary on American society. It was not right, but it's can't do nothing about that now. I'm glad I feel like we've come a long way.
Oh, we definitely have.
And
Despite what other folks say.
Yes, agreed.
So is it my
that
turn
movie
now?
is just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
Last
fantastic.
one.
Yeah. You're the last one, JV.
Okay, you want to talk about something that had everything. This was adapted from a book.
Here we
This
go.
was also a grand experiment, and it is arguably the greatest trilogy of all time, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to take a genre, high fantasy, which doesn't get a lot of play unless it's in TV,
Yeah.
and to basically take an entire cast, film 3 films in 3 years, completely on location in New Zealand. You moved and you lived in New Zealand for 3 years.
And a lot of unknown actors. I mean, a lot of
there was
not unknown, I guess. Inexperienced. I would say inexperienced.
I would say a lot of B tier actors.
That
became
A tier.
A tier actors, because I think at the time the only one who was actually that well known would be Weaving,
Ian McKellen.
but
Ian McKellen.
But these were I mean Elijah Wood and Sean Astin as early child actors, and then Orlando Bloom, who had just come off of the Pirates films.
Yes, pirate film. I think he'd only done.
He had only done the first one, I think.
So
which catapulted him into stardom. I mean, gosh, I love that movie too. Oh, yeah.
I mean, even Viggo Mortensen. I mean, Sean Bean. I went on and had a decent career after. It's just I mean, the way that he did it was just absolutely amazing.
Respectful.
Respectful.
He was respectful to the Lord, and it is the only trilogy where all three installments were Oscar best got Oscar best picture nods, and The Return of the King is the second sequel to win best picture.
Yeah, the Oscars ate those movies up, and as they should have. They were fantastic. I think, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's when it started to be cool to be a nerd, because up to that point, man, if you were Lord of the Rings, people were like, man, you're just a dork, So, what's going on, Charles? Thanks for joining the chat here. But yeah, I mean, it's before that. I think that's where you start getting like nerd culture becoming popular.
High fantasy.
Well, yes, I agree. But you know how people lump all that nerd stuff together.
No, because there is specific cultures within nerd.
There is. I agree. I know what you're saying. But I'm also saying that in general,
gotcha.
That's when dorky was becoming cool. But awesome, guys.
Yeah,
I think
I'll never
forget
that one. I actually got a sneak peek before it was finished.
Oh, nice.
I worked for a company called Games Workshop, which does the Warhammer games, and
nice.
I was in Washington D.C. and they had a pre-screening in Washington D.C. And they invited a few of us in to go see it before it was actually finished.
Wow,
so cool
Nice.
to check that out. But yeah, amazing film.
Wow. And films I mean, just in general. But thank you guys so much for being on with me, Joker Voice
Pleasure.
and DJ.
Of course.
It's been a fruitful discussion and a list. I've liked everything
Oh,
you said.
I forgot. E.T. I'm just kidding. Little girl.
Cinematic classic. If you don't like E.T., you suck.
You have no soul.
Oh gosh, I don't hate E.T. I don't think E.T.'s that great. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I was never the biggest E.T. fan as a kid. I love Gremlins. I think Gremlins are better. Gremlins are way better than E.T. Always got to stir something up. But again, thank you guys. Joker Voice, what you going to be on in the next little bit, next couple of days? What do you got on this?
Tomorrow morning, we'll be dropping my 30th installment of last week's News Now. And then that night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, over on Legion Talk, going back to the world of the Westeros, Game of Thrones, Season 4, Episode 7 in review. Wednesday, I will be doing my review of the Barbie film. Again, I am the truth you need to hear, not necessarily the truth you want to hear. So tune in for that. Thursday, I will be on.
Unless you like Barbie. If you like Barbie, do not tune into that.
But tune in. Anyway, Thursday, I will be on with Roman of the Empire, talking about the series finale, thank God, of Secret Invasion. Friday, I will be doing my own review of Secret Invasion, and then that night, Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, back on Legion Talk for Friday night's Royal Rumble. All of those streams I will be simulcasting from my channel as well. And yes, I have hit the subscriber. I have hit the subscriber monetized goal. I need hours. So if you go to my channel, there's a little tab called playlists. Click on those. Just press play all, and then go vacuum the house, go out shopping or something. Just let it run. Let them run. I need hours.
That's right. Congratulations on that, JV. Well deserved.
Thank you.
Your content's really, really thought out. Well done. The research is there. You have great points, great thoughts. Even if people don't agree all the time. Even if I don't agree all the time.
You're allowed to.
That's right.
You're allowed to be wrong.
Disagree.
To be wrong. It's fine.
Oh goodness. Well, thank you again, JB, for being on.
Welcome.
DJ, where are you going to be at this week? What do you got coming up, going on? The whole thing?
So yeah, I have another solo show on Thursday at 7 Central. And this time, we're still continuing our Are They Real series, and we're going to do cryptids in pop culture. So lots of favorite movies that feature cryptids like Mothman and Harry and the Hendersons, because that's about the only Bigfoot movie, and other things like that. So
Bigfoot was in the Goofy movie. I've been watching that with my kids. Another great film. Again, DJ, thank you very much for being on with me tonight. As always, both of you guys always add so much to the stream. Check us out at dorkwarspodcast.com. There you'll find the links to all of our social medias, our YouTube page, our Spotify page, everywhere you can catch our audio podcast. If you hadn't listened in a while, or if you hadn't listened to all of our episodes, go check out our backlog. We got a lot of great content, not just movie reviews, but real in-depth discussions on like the lore, and most of it's about Star Wars. But then we kind of went into all of nerddom. We got away from just Star Wars, and now we're doing everything. So check out our backlog. Check out dorkwarspodcast.com. Next Sunday, I will probably be talking Secret Invasion, the entire series.
Haven't even started it yet.
Yeah.
Just watch my reviews. I I have a playlist.
Or just hit play and go to the grocery store. But we'll probably talk about that next Sunday.
God, that's awful. So
We'll
bad.
see. Yeah, it can be. We'll see. We'll see what I think about it. But again, thank you guys for listening in. Thank you, chat, for sticking with us. All you guys are great. Tune in with us. We really appreciate everything you do, just listening and being supportive. So thank you, and may the force be with you.
Toodles!
Thank you for supporting Dork Wars, the podcast. You can check us out on Facebook.com/Dork Wars, the podcast. And if you would like to join in on the discussion or maybe suggest topics for us to discuss, please do so by joining our Discord community or sending us an email at dorkwarspodcast@gmail.com.